Hello Pokemon trainers, welcome back to another Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Battle Stadium singles video here on iStarly TV. Today we're continuing our Road to Master Rank series where we climb the online Pokemon Battle Stadium singles ladder in Scarlet and Violet. So today I'm using a rental team. This was a team that I saw posted on the Smogon forums. Sometimes I scour those forums just for, information and to hear what people are saying about the meta and certain Pokemon and stuff like that. And sometimes I also check the forum where people might post teams that they did well with. And so this team is by username, I think Ada Lorenzi. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. I'll post a link to the post in the description, so if you want to check that out. But it just kind of briefly goes over the team. So I don't think they have a Pokepaste or anything for the team. So I honestly am not 100% sure about the EVs, but let's go ahead and get right into it. So you'll notice, first of all, I might not go in exact order of the Pokemon, but you'll notice, first of all, Blissey right there in the middle. So if you remember a long time ago, I think this was 4th gen competitive battling, there was the core of Skarmbliss, which was Skarmory and Blissey, which Skarmory was like perfect at taking physical attackers, Blissey was perfect at taking special attackers, and together they created like this almost impenetrable wall duo that almost nothing could single-handedly get through. Almost nothing. So we're kind of bringing that back here with the Blissey Corviknight. So if you think about it, a lot of the weaknesses that Blissey has, Corviknight can take on fighting types decently well, and then a lot of the Pokemon that give Corviknight trouble, notably special attackers, Blissey of course can take them on pretty well. The Corviknight set's pretty standard, although it is Terra Grass, which is interesting. And then the Blissey set is, Blissey's not super common, but this is an interesting set, I would say, for Blissey. It's combined with Shadow Ball and Hyper Voice. So I think that's really interesting, and I'm excited to see how that does for us. Then we've got Garchomp. I think I saw in their post they said that Garchomp, Corviknight, and Blissey are pretty much capable of taking on most of the meta, just the 3 of these Pokemon, and then everything else of course just kind of rounds out the coverage. We've got, I believe it's Bulky Gholdengo with the Covert Cloak item, which is a great item to stop Garganacl, the Salt Cure move. And then we've got Choice Banded Dragapult, which is something that I personally haven't tried myself, and it also has Shadow Ball, so that'll be fun. And then finally we have Focus Sash Flutter Mane with a Terra Fairy type. I love Flutter Mane. If you've been seeing my videos, I just really enjoy it because it's so strong. And having a Focus Sash I think really helps against strong physical threats. So it'll be interesting to see how this team does. Let's try some games with it. All right, game 1, we actually have a really interesting Pokemon here. That's Iron Jugulis towards the bottom of my opponent's team. Iron Jugulis is a Pokemon you do not typically see. It's a Paradox Pokemon you do not typically see so far. So I'm excited to see that. I actually have a couple shiny Iron Juguli that I'm going to want to bring. Okay, I'm going to do something here that I'm probably going to regret. I'm actually just going to quickly try to check the EVs here. Oh, I forgot you can't go down from there. So it's Max Attack, Max Speed Dragapult, Bulky Garchomp, interesting. This is, unsurprisingly, Max HP, Max Defense. This one is also Max HP, Max Defense, awesome. And then Gholdengo is kind of bulky as well, good to know. And then finally we have Timid Flutter Mane with the Focus Sash. Okay, cool. So anyways, with that being said, let's kind of get right to it. We have a couple of Ghost types, which means their Garganacl is probably, they're probably going to want to bring Garganacl. But as I said, we might be able to kind of shut that down with Gholdengo. So I do think I'm going to want to bring Gholdengo. Gholdengo is also pretty good against Breloom, although they might have Bulldoze, so that is something that we're going to want to be aware of. So we're definitely bringing our Gholdengo. From there, I kind of like Dragapult because it's fast and it's got the Dragon Darts to break potential Focus Sashes. I kind of want to bring Chomp too, though. I think I'm going to be, I'm running out of time here. I'm bringing Chomp, I'm bringing Gholdengo, and then I'm going to bring Corviknight. And I hope I don't regret this. Corviknight is just a great physical wall, and my opponent has a lot of physical attackers. One Pokemon, honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, that's going to give me some trouble is going to be that Iron Jugulis. So I have to prepare for that, and I wouldn't be surprised if my opponent brought that, if I'm being honest. Although at the same time, I do have Blissey, so that might scare it off. My opponent leads Baxcalibur, though, as I'm going to lead Garchomp. This might force me to Terra right away. Oh, I do have a good switch into this. Okay. So the most common Terra type for Baxcalibur, I believe, is Ground. However, another decently common Terra type is Electric, and then also sometimes they run Terra Fire. So if this is Terra Ground, as is tradition, then it kind of can't really touch my Corviknight. However, if it's Terra fire or electric, I'm definitely in a lot of trouble. They get a critical hit right away, though. I was going to say that that did a lot more damage than I expected it to. But they get a crit right away, which is definitely annoying. They're going to hit me at least 4 times here, which is actually going to do pretty good damage, and that is actually putting me in a decently bad position right off the bat. I'm just going to go ahead and roost because I have no reason not to, and we're going to find out what their Terra type is. They can't continuously hit me with the Ice Shards, though, or Icicle Spears, I mean, because eventually they're not going to get a crit, and I'm going to be able to get up an Iron Defense and stuff like that, and, you know, that's going to be great for me. So they go into Garganacl here. I wonder if it's too obvious that I'm going to go right into Gholdengo, but I am. I mean, that's the whole reason Gholdengo's on this team, from what I understand, and the traditional Garganacl sets kind of just cannot touch Gholdengo, so I think I just kind of, you know, have good reason to just go into Gholdengo here. I resist Salt Cure, it's not going to do much damage. I do also have Recover. They get another critical hit, wow. I think I just go Shadow Ball here, although, I was going to press B and then check their team, but I accidentally clicked A, which is fine. I was considering going Shadow Ball anyway. I also considered going Make It Rain because I don't think they have too many great switch-ins to that, but I think Shadow Ball is just a solid option. They do have Iron Jugulus though, so yeah, this is scary. I hope I can get that special defense drop. Nope. I am Terra Ghost, so I'm not going to want to stay in here. Oh, I think I have to go into Garchomp. What were the EVs on this again? HP, defense, and speed. Okay. Okay, well, we're gonna have to see. I need Gholdengo for the Garganacl, and Gholdengo can also help me against Baxcalibur. So, you know, I don't want to lose Garchomp, but if I really have to, then oh my, you got to be kidding me! A third critical hit. Every single one of their Pokemon. Are they all running like what is it, Scope Lands or whatever it's called? It's ridiculous. I am Terra Steel, which is not going to do anything in this situation. Getting up Stealth Rock also isn't going to make that big of a difference. So I think I just go Dragon Tail here. And I probably die. Oh my god. Finally, I get some luck. They go Hurricane, which is a big risk to run on Iron Jugulus. That's one of the reasons, I think that's probably one of the reasons you don't see too much Iron Jugulus, because its best flying type stab move is Hurricane or Air Slash. You know, one of those is obviously, very inaccurate, and the other one is not as strong, so I think that's a big reason why you don't see it. Alright, this is a good opportunity for me to just get up rocks now, though. I don't really mind if I lose Garchomp, as long as I can, you know, get into a threatening position with something like Gholdengo or something. Like, if we get to a point where, like, Gholdengo can Terra and click Shadow Ball, they won't even be able to switch in their Iron Jugulus, so... And then it's going to be all about prediction from there with the Baxcalibur, but I'd like to go Earthquake, but I kind of feel like that's just inviting them to go right into Jugulus, so I think I'm just going to go for at least one Spike here and see what they do. If they go Iron Defense, I'm not that worried, because once again, Gholdengo kind of just walls Garganacl. They just go straight up Body Press, though, which does nothing. Okay, cool. I'm tempted to go Earthquake now, but I feel like now it's more likely that they go into Iron Jugulus. So I'm just going to get up another layer of spikes. I am taking that Salt Cure damage as well, which is going to knock me out this following turn. So I think it's better to just go spikes, because if I go Earthquake and they go Iron Jugulus, I just kind of wasted a turn there. Whereas if I go for spikes and they go into Iron Jugulus, I'm probably going to die here, but it at least means that I got value on my turn. But they are going to take some good damage here from the hazards. So this is one reason why I like setting up all these hazards here. And then even if I don't faint, I think there's a chance I outspeed them, so that'll be great. And then if I do faint, that gives me the ability to switch into something here. All right. And I think that thing is going to be Corviknight. I don't need Corviknight. So Gholdengo can take on Baxcalibur and Garganacl. So really, I just need to... If I can get rid of Iron Jugulus, I should have a pretty clear path to victory, although it is going to be a little difficult. On the other hand, though, they are going to take Stealth Rock damage once they switch in. So another thing I can do, which, never mind, that does nothing. I was going to say is when they switch in their Jugulus, I can Terra. But here, what I'm just going to do is Body Press, because it hits everything they have. They go Spear, though. Okay. I was going to say, because if they go into Jugulus, then I might catch it and possibly kill it with the Body Press. And if they go into Garganacl, you know, it takes super effective damage and all that. So that one doesn't do anywhere near as much damage as the previous one. And then they're going to go ahead and... yeah, this is a tough situation, though. Because I need my Corviknight to be as high health as possible for that Jugulus. So I'm just going to Roost, but I don't think... if they're just going to spam Icicle Spear, that's a winning exchange for them. And assuming they're max speed, which Baxcalibur typically is, they are going to outspeed Gholdengo, so there's no reason for me to go into Gholdengo either. So I think what I have to maybe do is get up an Iron Defense so I take these Icicle Spears better. But then the fact that they're faster is just such a big deal. And then I just don't think there's any chance Gholdengo lives a Dark Pulse from Jugulus. This is actually a really bad situation. I can go into Gholdengo, take an Icicle Spear. Terra, that doesn't matter either. If they're faster than my Gholdengo, then I think it's just going to be game over here, right? Yeah, I mean, I have some bulk, but... yeah, that's the problem here. I just have to Roost again and see what happens. But like I said, they just kind of don't lose anything for just continuously pressing Icicle Spear. Like, because the fact that they're faster and they just get off, you know, a good chunk of damage on me is just such a big deal for them. Like, So that did, let's see, what am I at right here? If I can see it right now, 44. And I was about, so I don't know, maybe that did about 100 damage. I have to hope for like a low roll here. Actually, maybe if I Roost again, I knew this was going to happen. Eventually they're just going to Dragon Dance. Yeah. Okay. Well, so now I'll be at full health. I'll take a lot more damage from the Icicle Spear due to the Dragon Dance, but it means that I'll be able to knock them out. I just have to hope that I don't take too much damage from the Spear, but who am I kidding? I'm going to, right? Unless they get greedy and just Dragon Dance here, which I don't think there's a reason for them to do that. So it's doing about 30 per, so I might be left with like 80 HP. I just don't think that's going to be enough. Maybe, no, never mind. I was going to say maybe, and it's a weird play. They hit 5 times, of course. It's a weird play, but I was going to say maybe like I Terra Grass so that when they go into Jugulus, they're tempted to go for the Hurricane, which has a chance of missing. But if I Terra Grass, I'm just dead to the Icicle Spear, so there's no real reason there. Again, I'm a little interested in why the Corviknight was Terra Grass. I don't think they mentioned it in their post, because that's something, like I said, you don't typically see. And honestly, I mean, this team, I trust that this is a well-built team, so I'm not trying to criticize it, but you know, at least with the way this game has played out, I wish my Corviknight was not Terra Grass, and I wish my Gholdengo was not Terra Ghost. So the game just didn't line up in my favor in that case. But anyways, we click Body Press. There's nothing else we can do here. We hope we live, but I don't think we're going to. They knock us out, and I think that's just GG because they're faster and it's going to be super effective, and our Terra type doesn't help us at all here. So if we happen to survive, which would be a miracle, I mean, we do have some bulk, so maybe we will. If by some miracle we survive, then we might be able to pull out the victory because we have Recover against Garganacl. That was, for a second, it looked like it was going a little slowly there. My opponent got 3 critical hits in this battle. I don't think it mattered that much. Maybe if I calc it and like Gholdengo had a minor chance to live that. I doubt it though. But anyways, that was a fun one. GG's, except for those critical hits. Let's try another here. Game 2, my opponent has a really interesting team. I feel like I always say that. They have Goodra though, which I love, and Volcarona is scary, Magnezone can be scary. Great Tusk is really bulky, so they've got a lot going for them here. They also have Clodsire, my arch nemesis. If you've seen my previous videos, you probably know that I hate Clodsire. And this Flutter Mane does not have Psyshock, so actually my Flutter Mane is not going to have a good time facing that Clodsire, so I kind of hate it. Although Corviknight kind of shuts down, Corviknight can wall Clodsire indefinitely. Although at the same time, I'm not going to be really doing that much damage to it. So what do we think? What about Blissey here? Blissey's okay. Maybe Blissey will scare away the Volcarona and Goodra. Actually, they have a good amount of special attackers. Actually, Goodra can be physical, though, so there's a chance Blissey doesn't really do what I want it to. Plus, they have a really strong fighting type. So I'm liking Flutter Mane here. I'm liking Corviknight. And then from there, Corviknight's going to struggle against Volcarona and Magnezone for sure. So honestly, I think I'm just bringing the Blissey. So let's try it. Maybe I should have brought Garchomp, actually. Maybe it should have just been Chomp, Corviknight, Blissey, which, again, as the original creator of this team said in their post, that's kind of like the core of the team. Like, that's kind of what they bring a lot. Oh, that's a really cool. I love that. That's an awesome trainer card. I think that picture is from one of the billboards in Levincia, or whatever that city's called. They do lead Flutter Mane, or I'm sorry. Oh, cool. It's shiny. I get these names mixed up all the time because they're all like 2 words. So like, I don't know, for some reason I get them all mixed up. They lead with their Great Tusk. Now, we did see the booster energy, which is actually important because I was going to say, you know, one type that Great Tusk typically runs is actually Assault Vest. I mean, one moveset. So they have to switch out here. Basically, we know they're not Focus Sash. We know they're not Assault Vest. We know they're not Choice Scarf. We know we're going to hit them really hard with a Moonblast. They go into the Pokemon that I hate the most in the entire world, and that is Clodsire. But like I said, I think Corviknight can kind of just shut this down. Typically, these things run Earthquake, Toxic, Recover, I don't know, maybe Curse. And because Corviknight also has the ability Pressure, they're actually not going to want to stay in here. But at the same time, I also feel like it's pretty likely that they're going to have Volcarona or Magnezone, you know, the 2 Pokemon that I kind of feared would be the biggest threat to my Corviknight. I wonder if I switch here. And you know what? I think I'm going to have to. Not have to, but I think that this is just my best play because they're likely to go into a strong special attacker here. Because once again, typically Clodsire just can't touch Corviknight. To be fair, I also can't touch them, but, you know, it's fine. Yeah, let's see what they switch into. This will give us some information. It doesn't put us in, like, the best position, though, because they could just easily... Like, once they switch back into Clodsire, you know, it's kind of just back to square one, but I'm just going to go ahead and Calm Mind here, just kind of see what happens. They do Volt Switch, which we should eat up. That actually does a little more. I mean, it does a little bit, don't get me wrong, but for a Pokemon like Blissey who lives off of being a special tank, that did more than I might have guessed. So they go back into this thing, unsurprising. So it's probably bad. I thought they would go right back into Clodsire for some reason, but yeah, I actually should have expected this. Now, the other thing, though, is I'm Terra Ghost. So I wonder if there's a world where we actually Terra Shadow Ball here. I'm going to. Just see what happens. Honestly, though, there's a chance that they knock off. I think knockoff is not one of the most used moves on Great Tusk, but hey, it gets the move. So if they knock off here, I'm gonna scream. No, I'll probably laugh. It'll be funny. They do go close combat as we expected. This just lets me get off a lot of damage on their Great Tusk. Maybe knock it out. Probably not though, but maybe. It just lets me get a lot of damage on them, and I know that Terra Ghost Blissey is. Oh wow, no, that's not a lot of damage. I was wrong. I was absolutely wrong, everyone. Okay, so now we're just gonna go into Corviknight though. I do absolutely need Corviknight for Clodsire. If Corviknight somehow dies, Clodsire just wins the game from, like, I don't think I can blast through Clodsire. So this is a little risky. Maybe I should have just gone into Flutter Mane actually, but yeah, honestly I should have gone into Flutter Mane. Okay. Maybe I go Flutter Mane now. I'm gonna Iron Head just to get off some damage and just see what they do. Maybe I should have Body Pressed. Actually, maybe this is dumb. If they have Magnet Pull, oh no, if they have Magnet Pull, everyone. Okay, this was one of the reasons I went for Iron Head, because if they go into Clodsire, I can get off a little bit of damage here. And honestly, you know, I was kind of bashing the Terra Grass, but now that I think about it, Terra Grass is great against something like Magnezone. It's still not good against Volcarona though, but at least they don't have it. So they're in Clodsire here. I think I just Iron Head again. Maybe I can make them flinch. What are the odds that they're Magnet Pool? Honestly, I'm just gonna pull it up right here and see what the most used Magnezone ability is. They're Terra Fire, which is kind of weird. If they have Terra Blast, dude, if they have Terra Blast, might flinch them. We're actually whittling them down. They have Terra Blast. You gotta be kidding me here. What the heck? That does a lot too. What is going on, dude? Oops. Alright, well I do have Roost, so honestly it's kind of funny because I was saying that I need my Corviknight to take down their Clodsire, but now it's actually the case that like, we don't. So I'm gonna Body Press here. Maybe they'll recover. Because like I said, I thought Corviknight would just completely wall Clodsire, but now that I know that's not the case, this is actually, honestly, this is great for me. Actually, this paves the way for me to just kind of potentially easily close out this battle. At the risk of sounding really kind of, what's the word? At the risk of sounding really kind of like, I don't know, not conceited, but, because like, now this Clodsire is actually not a threat because it's so low, and it can't take a hit anymore. Now I have no reason to not just click Shadow Ball here. They have no switch in. I have my Focus Sash, so if they happen to have like Sturdy with their Magnezone, I can still kill it the following turn. They've used their Terra, so I just don't have to worry about that. This is so weird. I kind of wonder then if they are Water Absorb, because, you know, going Terra Fire, that means they don't have a Water type weakness, and it might tempt people to going for the Water type move. But as a Ground type, it does that anyway, so I don't know. That was a really interesting sequence. They might be Scarfed here. If they are Scarfed... Okay, well, they're not. That's great. Oh, wow. That takes that so well. We do lower their special attack. But we're going to have to switch here. I need Flutter Mane to kind of guarantee that I kill Great Tusk. I don't think Great Tusk has Ice Shard like Donphan does. So, yeah, I just have to go Blissey here. Again, I eat these hits all day. Oh, never mind. Never mind, dude. I think I just Shadow... Well, I think they're Assault Vest, right? Okay, I have to Calm Mind then. This might be a little harder than I thought. We need to get more damage on this Magnezone. So that Mystical Fire did about a third to it. This is actually a really, really tough situation here. Yeah, maybe going Calm Mind here isn't the play. Because now I can't switch in Flutter Mane. Ooh, this is rough. Okay, we're still a Ghost type though, so they might have to go Headlong Rush. If by some miracle we survive a Headlong Rush, then we're probably gonna kill them with the Terra Ghost boosted Shadow Ball at +1. Or do I Hyper Voice? Actually, a Hyper Voice does more, right? Because Shadow Ball is technically stab because I'm Terra Ghost, but this is stab still because I'm a normal type. So I'm just gonna go Hyper Voice. We have to survive this, obviously, otherwise it's game. Oh, I do take that pretty well, actually. Okay. Well, now we have to knock this out. If we don't, then that's also probably game. Because now if we... Oh, perfect. I guess I should have expected this too, because Great Tusk actually has a really low special defense stat. So this is great. I think there's a really good chance we live a hit from Magnezone. And then that's all we need. That's all we need is for Blissey to take down Magnezone. And then if we can weaken Magnezone enough, then Flutter Mane can come in and finish it off. Soft Boiled here. Maybe I should have gone Shadow Ball. What? They have Thunder? And no Paralysis. Perfect. Okay, so that actually is better for us because it does have a higher Paralysis chance, but it means that they're not dropping our special defense like they would have with Flash Cannon. Now I think I'm fine to just spam Shadow Ball until I'm dead. Basically, now I just spam Shadow Ball until one of us faints, and they're hitting all these Thunders. They do get the Paralysis. I'm holding my breath. I do hit the Shadow Ball. All right, I hope this does enough. Because then it won't matter if I get fully paralyzed. Okay, I think... Oh, that's a crit. All right. I don't usually say I deserve that, but I feel like I deserve that crit after getting crit so many times in game 1 and then getting the paralysis here. But I don't like to complain, so even though I just did. Okay, they finally miss a Thunder. If we connect here, it's game over. Perfect. Yeah, because now even if Blissey gets fully paralyzed 5 times in a row and then dies, Flutter Mane comes in and cleans up with the Mystical Fire. So good game. We do get the special defense drop, which doesn't matter. And actually, is there a chance they're choice specs? Probably not, right? Because they're just spamming that Thunder. I kind of feel like at that point, good game, yeah. At that point, once I'm paralyzed, unless they're choiced, at that point, I feel like they should just go for Flash Cannon because I'm paralyzed already, and now with Flash Cannon, you have the chance to lower my special defense. But yeah, that was a rough game. That was a fun game. That was an interesting one. I tried to like pivot so that I kept certain threats alive that would help me win against some of their other threats. I don't know if Terra Fire Clodsire is the play. Like, that thing would have been extremely annoying without it, but honestly, they were probably Terra Fire specifically for Corviknights, so I do understand and respect that. So anyways, let's go to game 3. And I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. My opponent has a Belly Bolt, which I love. I want to see more of that. My opponent has Scizor, which I love. That Scizor looks huge, by the way. It looks bigger. That Scizor sprite looks bigger than everything else. Anyways, Corviknight looks great here. However, of course, they do have the Flutter Mane, which I think typically does have Mystical Fire. They do have Belly Bolt, which is obviously terrifying in the face of Corviknight. Although, I am Terra Grass. Maybe this will be the game where Terra Grass comes into play. So I really like Corviknight for sure. And then, of course, once again, their special attackers are going to give me trouble. And, I mean, once again, I have Blissey for that. I do also have Gholdengo for that Garganacl. Gholdengo's also good against some of their... Gholdengo's really just good against, like, their slower stuff. Like, it's not gonna have a good time against Flutter Mane. So I think I want to lead with something that's kind of like a lead. So I'm going to lead Mane and then bring Corviknight and Gholdengo. I think I just need some speed. Blissey's tempting to bring, but with a Scizor and a Great Tusk, I just don't think I can do that, right? I mean, and then even Garganacl's really annoying in the face of Blissey. So I do want to bring Flutter Mane here, and that's the awkward thing with this team is it's like I have Pokemon that I want to bring, and like not all of them are like leads, if that makes sense. So if I choose the lead matchup wrong, then, you know, I'm just on the back foot for the whole game. Anyways, they lead Dragapult in the face of my Flutter Mane. This might force them to Terra right away. I am not faster than them. However, very awkwardly, I don't think I can switch here until I know they're set. If I know that they're like purely physical, then Corviknight is good here, but this is pretty awkward. I could also Terra... No, there's no reason to Terra Fairy. Well, if I Terra Fairy, it would remove my Ghost type weakness. I'm not sure I want to Terrasilize this early, especially as a Fairy type when they have Bullet Punch on their team. So I'm going to click Shadow Ball here. I feel like... Okay, they do go Light Screen, interestingly. I mean, not super interestingly, but... yeah, I feel like I go Shadow Ball here rather than Moonblast because they have more switch-ins to Moonblast. And now I just click Moonblast because that did almost half, and Moonblast is a little bit stronger than Shadow Ball. So they do go Reflect. They're just going to sacrifice their Dragapult for the screens, which, you know, that puts me in a good position because my Flutter Mane's Focus Sash is still intact. However, that's still pretty scary because that means they can go into something really scary here and potentially set up. Although they don't really have too many setup sweepers on their team, right? They go Garg, which, once again, Gholdengo's great against Garganacl, so that's why I love this Covert Cloak Gholdengo set. Now, they could be something surprising. They could have Earthquake, for all I know, but otherwise, this is just great for me, because if they go Salt Cure, I just eat it all day. Now they go Stealth Rock, which is actually pretty sad, because now my Flutter Mane's Focus Sash is broken, but do I make it rain, or do I Nasty Plot? So, Dragapult's gone. If I just Nasty Plot, I think I make it rain. Because if I Nasty Plot and they go into Flutter Mane, I don't think. Okay, I'm gonna call their bluff and think that there's no reason they go into Flutter Mane here. If they do though, that's gonna be absolutely awful for us. Okay, perfect. Okay, they don't have Flutter Mane. That's actually good. Well, this is scary. Don't get me wrong. This is definitely scary. Oh, but of course I do have Corviknight for this. So I should have just gone Make It Rain in retrospect, because that would have gotten a good chunk of damage on this thing. But, I mean, hindsight, right? So my opponent has not terastallized. I don't think Great Tusk really sets up. Like, it doesn't have, like, Swords Dance or anything, so at least I don't have to worry about that. And Corviknight's great against this, obviously. They go Earthquake. Okay. I think I'm in a pretty good spot. Corviknight and Gholdengo together are gonna put me in a really good spot here. I'm just gonna Iron Head. If they go Garganacl here, I'm gonna get off some good damage on it as it comes in. And then if they go Garganacl, I probably will switch right back into Gholdengo, although that's kind of obvious at this point. So we'll see what happens here. They do pull that switch, and honestly, this is going to take it really well because they have the Reflect up. But stalling out these Reflect turns is just fine for me. Like, I'm happy about this. I kind of wonder if I Terra Grass, because I'll take less damage from Salt Cure. Does that make any sense? Are they going to go Salt Cure here? How obvious is the Gholdengo switch? This is kind of annoying. I'm going Gholdengo here. If they switch back into Great Tusk, honestly, I'm fine. I'm kind of fine taking this consistent Stealth Rock damage as long as I'm stalling out their Reflex and they're not really doing anything to me. They do go Salt Cure, so that's great. So now I'm going to Make It Rain. That's a sentence I've never said before in my life. Gonna go Make It Rain if they stay in. I mean, honestly, they won't take that much damage if they stay in because of these Reflects, or these screens, rather. Light Screen has one more turn, though. Fine, I'm gonna Shadow Ball just in case I get the special defense drop. Yeah, I guess Make It Rain was just fine. Okay, so how much do we want to predict them here? Like, that's great for me, actually. And then Light Screen wears off. I don't think I can stay in, though. I just don't think I can. I think I have to make this super obvious play. Corviknight and Gholdengo are both great against their Garganacl. Well, Corviknight's okay against it. Like, if they get a Salt Cure on me, it's actually not that good, but yeah. I'm just going to keep making these obvious plays and hope that pressure can help stall them out. They go Ice Spinner, which is fine with me because I take good damage, or I take a little bit of damage from that, and they get the Rocky Helmet, and their Reflect is gone. I just kind of feel, I hate that I'm the one playing the stall player now, but like, I'm just kind of making the plays that I think are best, and since we're whittling down this Great Tusk, it's going to come to a point where we won't really need to worry about stalling anymore. We will be able to just kind of be proactive. But yeah, with this Great Tusk getting lower and lower, we're just in a fantastic position here. We're going to Roost. Now we know that our Iron Heads are doing more damage. I kind of wonder... No, I was going to say I kind of wonder if I just go all in here and just start setting up Iron Defenses and then kill them, even though Salt Cure will slowly kill me. But if I lose Corviknight, I just don't have an answer to the Great Tusk. So... they're going to Salt Cure, right? Do I go into this and like Energy Ball? They haven't terastallized either, which is kind of interesting, right? I don't think I want this to take extra damage, but at the same time, when are we ever going to get this in? I'm going to go into this. This just kind of forces them to do this forces them to play a little bit differently. It kind of like, it might get a good chunk of damage on their Garganacl. Maybe it'll get a special defense drop. And if I somehow either force them to switch out or somehow get a kill on this thing, it really puts me in a great position. And this is just beautiful right here. Yeah, this is kind of what I wanted. This is like a good payoff for me going into Flutter Mane there, because now I'm faster than this. And I have the Energy Ball, which is super effective against both of their remaining Pokemon. So they're just kind of like in a little bit of a stalemate here. Not a complete stalemate, but like almost. Ooh, okay, there's the Terra. There's the Terra. Okay, so maybe it's not as much of a stalemate as I was hoping, but it at least forces their hand. And I guess that's a good spot to be in. Or not. They're just Terra Ground. So this is going to take as much damage as it was otherwise. So I think they're dead, right? And if this thing is gone, no, they're not dead. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I got this thing low enough that it just pretty much can't switch in anymore if they're going to switch out with it. So I guess I'm okay with this, right? So now I'm gonna go Corviknight. I think my Terra is gonna be Corviknight. I think if they Ice Spinner again with this thing, they're dead. What do we do? Do we expect the switch? I'm gonna Iron Defense. I'm not gonna Terra just yet because we don't have to. They do switch, which is actually what I wanted, yeah. And now I think I mean, don't get me wrong, I still need Corviknight alive to take on the Great Tusk. If at any point I ever lose Corviknight, I might, and they still have Great Tusk alive, I might lose the game. But they can't switch into this. So I'm gonna Terra Grass. That might be a weird play. I'm gonna go ahead here and Terra Grass though. And then, because again, if I Terra Grass, that means if they Salt Cure, I'm gonna be taking less damage. And then I'm gonna go ahead and Body Press and just go from there, just kind of see how it plays out. Maybe get him to a point where they maybe feel a little comfortable. Ooh, that does so much damage, never mind. I was gonna say get them to a point where they maybe feel a little bit comfortable, and then maybe get Gholdengo in for free at some point against the Garchomp, and at that point, like, it's kind of game over because they can't switch in their Great Tusk anymore and stuff like that. But either way, that just did so much damage that I think we're gonna be in a good position here. And I'm sorry if you can hear the noise in the background. This video is almost over, but yeah, the people outside start doing their yard work right now of all times, which is fine. I mean, whatever. They don't know I'm recording YouTube videos. But if you can hear that, I apologize. But like I said, the video is almost over here. So they protect. They're probably going to try to get cheesy here and try to get multiple protects going. It is what it is, though. I can't really, you know, stop that. Perfect. All right, that's going to be game. Or it is, right? That is going to be game, right? Well, I'm pretty sure it is, because again, even though we're Terra Grass and we are now weak to the Ice Spinner, 1, we have +2 defense, so there's a chance we survive, and 2, we have Rocky Helmet, and that should knock them out, the Rocky Helmet damage. So I think we're in a good spot here. We're going to Body Press because there's no reason not to. This was a close one. Oh, they Earthquake. Okay, I mean, I resist that, so I'm fine with that. I guess this is the smart play too. I mean, yeah, it does nothing because we're at +2 defense, but this makes sense because they don't want to die to that Rocky Helmet. But anyways, yeah, so good game there. That was a lot of fun, and I really like this team. I actually think, you know, I was going to call it Skarmory. Corviknight and Blissey are great together. As you saw this game, this game really showcased Corviknight's strength. I mean, the Paradox Pokemon, like almost every single one of them is really strong either as a physical or a special attacker, or sometimes mixed. And so having a Pokemon like Corviknight who's just perfect at taking on physical attackers, and Blissey who's perfect at taking on special attackers, I mean, just combining them together just makes it so hard for teams to break through. And then when you add in Pokemon like Gholdengo, which Gholdengo is kind of like an all-star in this series, and Garchomp, I mean, yeah, I feel like that's a great core to build around. Start with Corviknight, start with Blissey, and then from there just kind of build around them, and you should be in a good spot. So good stuff. Yeah, awesome. Again, shout out to the person who made this team. I like the team a lot. I know I was maybe, I don't want to say I was sounding critical because I wasn't trying to be critical of it, but there were points where, you know, things didn't work out for me the way I wish they had because of certain components of the team. But that's how it's always going to be. When it comes to Terra types, terastallizing, you know, sometimes you're going to get the right Terra type for the situation and sometimes you're not. That's just how it is. You can only have one Terra type per Pokemon and you can only terastallize once per battle. So thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate everyone who's been watching my videos. I've been loving interacting with everyone and reading the comments. As I said in my last video, if you have a team that you'd like to share, that you'd like to see me play on screen, feel free to let me know. Leave me a code. If you want to leave me a little brief explanation of the team, like kind of just so I can get an idea of what certain Pokemon are there for. Some Pokemon are obvious, obviously, but some Pokemon, you know, when you look at their EVs, it's like, oh, why do they have these EVs? So if you can give me a rundown, that'd be cool. But otherwise, just the code is cool. And if you have a Pokepaste, that's also great as well. But I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it so much. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.